Hi everybody, welcome to West Virginia. My name is Cheryl and this is my channel, Tranquil Stitches. Today is Wednesday, October 29th, 2020, and this is my FlossTube episode number 110. How is everybody? Are you happy, healthy, everything okay? Everything's fine here. Just deep into holiday deep cleaning, and I'm almost done. I have literally killed myself the last couple months to get this done. I had neglected my home so much from the past few months, and it's so good to get back in and get everything cleaned up. I'm talking baseboards, walls, taking hardware off my kitchen cabinets and scrubbing it with a toothbrush, and you know, that's the kind of cleaning I'm doing. So almost done. I cannot wait to have it finished and then just be able to sit down and relax and just maintain it. It's gonna be a nice thing. It's been a long time, so I have been very preoccupied with that and trying to get ready for the holidays and just kind of getting myself back on track. So yeah, it's been backbreaking, and I collapse every night at the end of every day, and I can't work to that extent every day, but I at least do something every day. Some days the time I get up till the time I go to bed, and then some days, you know, I'm lucky to get a couple things done. So I'm just, you know, plugging along at my own pace and following the holiday grand plan, which has really helped me this year, and I'm excited. So getting some holiday planning done as far as gifts, buying some gifts and getting things in, and hopefully that won't hit me all at once like it did last year, and I can breathe this year. So lots of good stuff going on. The weather has been wonderful. It's very mild, and the leaves have turned, and a lot of them have already fallen. I've still not been getting out of the house much, but that will come. My husband and I are planning to do some traveling next year, so we're very excited about that. And but it's raining today. We're going to get more rain overnight. There was a warning on the weather, our weather, for some substantial rain from Zeta, I guess. So we're going to get some rain, and that's fine. It takes the leaves off the trees too, unfortunately. So I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for stopping back by and spending some time with me. I have some stitching to show you. I have been stitching a little bit, trying to every evening, and I've not gotten too much done, but I just kind of keep it sitting there, and if I feel like it, I'll put in a few stitches. But, you know, a few stitches more than I had, right? So I have been working on the Fat Quarter Shop Stitchtober Stitch Along Fright Night, and I'll show you. I think part 4 is out, and I'm plugging along on part 3, but I'm very happy. I'm not going to take this out of the Q-snap, but I'm going to undo it so you can see these. If you don't know, these, and you know, these are steering wheel covers from the Dollar Tree, and I get them and use them for grime guards, and they work fine, and they're $1. So if they, you know, I've had a couple the elastic has broken, but not till after I've used them for like 6 or 7 times. So $1, you know. So here's where this one was the last time. And like I said, I'm not going to take it completely out, so pay attention to that word Halloween, because it's not all going to show on the whip. This is stitched on 28 count fabric flare, hazy gray, even weave. So I put in this one a total of 1,600 stitches even, and here's where it is now. Camera's on the other side this time. So since the last time you saw this, I have stitched the moon, and that was a lot of stitches. And the bat is stitched in etoile. If you can see the sparkle, the bat and the spider are both etoile, the black. And the moon is stitched in glow-in-the-dark thread, so it glows in the dark. And then I have a good start on the house, the haunted house. So there is a white border that goes all the way around the house, which is really cool. It makes it look like it's glowing. And then inside the windows, it calls for orange, but I think I'm going to do some purple inside the windows. I'm not sure if I'll do them all purple or some of them. But yeah, I'm going to continue on this one. This one is so much fun. And like I said last time we spoke, this even weave is really, really easy to work with. And I don't have to struggle too much with the counting and everything. So yeah, it's very pleased with that. But yeah, these little steering wheel covers work really well. They work on 11 by 11 Q-snap and smaller. So I don't think they work on a 11 by 14. That would be stretching them a little too far, but you know, 11 by 11 is my favorite size anyway. Okay, 1600 stitches in that, and I put my camera on the other side. You know, it's what you get when you don't film every week. I've also put some stitches in on Sergey by Plum Street Samplers. And here's where he was the last time you saw him. I hadn't started him, and I did get him started. So 235 stitches, and here he is. So he's got a tail. I love the color choice. I'm using the called for in him. So he's got a tail, and there's a motif in his chest, so that's going to be that. So he's a cutie. I love this one. This one's not going to take very much more to finish up. So all told, for 2 weeks, 1835 stitches, which is more than I did the previous 2 weeks. So I'll take it. 1835 stitches on that. Now that glow-in-the-dark thread that I used, it can be hateful. It's kind of, it kind of is like a rayon. It's very slippery, kind of, you know. And I remembered, and I apologize because I cannot remember who I saw do this, but it's been a long time ago, and it just, after I struggled with that first strand that I put in, I happened to think about it, and I saw someone do this, and I cannot for the life of me remember who. I tried to look it up. I couldn't find it. I don't even know what it's called, but it is so helpful when you're using that kind of rayon or some silks, the metallics, the blending filaments. It is fabulous for those kinds of threads, because you're going to anchor both of your tails when you do it. Instead of having both of your tails flopping around, you're going to anchor those. Now I'm going to insert a video here showing you how I do it. And if you probably already know. Sometimes I'm a little late to the party, but if you don't, on the off chance that you don't know about this, then maybe it can help you out. So here's the video. To use this technique, what you're going to do is you're going to fold your floss just like you were going to do a loop start. This will work for 2 strands. I'm pretty sure it won't work for 1 strand. So you're going to fold it just like you're going to do a loop start, and then you're going to thread your 2 tails through your needle. Yes, I am a floss licker. So thread your 2 tails through the needle, and what you've got is your loop and your 2 tails. So instead of now starting to stitch and then anchoring it, you're going to take this loop. Before you start stitching, you're going to take this loop and you're going to reach through and grab the 2 tails and then pull. And when you do that, it's going to form a slip knot on the needle. See how it's wrapped around the needle? Your two tails are now here at the bottom, and you can do a pin stitch to anchor it, or you can run it through stitches on the back that are already there. When you start, either way you start, like if you were going to do a pin stitch, you would make sure that both lengths on the lengths on both sides are the same length. Make sure that you are even when you pull it. You don't want one strand longer than the other, because that's going to cause you all kinds of problems. So if you start with a pin stitch, you can just anchor it just like you would normally. If you can see the hole. And then you can take off and stitch. Now, like I said, it's anchored to your needle, so you want those lengths even. That's what you have to pay attention to. You have to make sure your lengths are even. And then you stitch as normal. And those tails are not going to aggravate you now, and they're not going to slip and slide and make your lengths different sizes, because they're anchored to the threads that are there. So I'll send you back to the regular video. I would not use that. Okay, some things you have to think about when you use that. You cannot frog, because your tails are, you can't get your needle out of your floss, because your needle is committed inside those strands of floss. So you cannot frog. You have to unstitch. You have to stitch backwards. So keep that in mind, and be, I paid extra attention to what I was doing. I did have to unstitch a couple stitches, but just make sure that you're thinking, especially if you're working on a Mirabilia or something that's got a few stitches here and a few stitches there. Just be very careful when you're doing that, because you cannot frog. And the second thing is, when you're done, it's a little difficult to get it off of the needle. Now, if you use that whole strand, if you'll take your scissors and snip right next to the needle eye, then you can get it out. If you still have quite a bit and you want to save that floss that you're using, you're going to have to work with that knot, that little slip knot, a little bit to get it away from the needle. Those are the only drawbacks of using that, but to me, that compared to fooling with those tails when I'm trying to stitch with that floss, it's definitely worth it. So be sure and keep those in mind, and if you do try it out, let me know what you think. But it worked for me for that moon. It's super, super, super. Let's move on to some bingo. Let's draw 3 more words. We're getting down to the end here, so let's draw 3 words for this week. We've got number 30, leaves. Number 30, leaves. I'll get acclimated to this camera as soon as the video's over, I'm sure. Number 26, yellow. 26, yellow. And we have the last one is 38, autumn. 38, autumn. 26, yellow. 30, leaves. Autumn yellow leaves. Good luck, and remember, if you match all 15 words, email bingo in the subject line to tranquilstitchesbingo@yahoo.com, and I will double check that, and if that's wrong, I'll make it blank right here. If you don't see anything blinking, then that's right. I also put it at the bottom so you can look there. But be the first one to match all 15 words, and you will win a $25 gift certificate to 123 Stitch. I received a Halloween card from my friend Connie this week. Look at that. And I'm going to read it to you. I have to put my glasses on because it's It says, when black cats prowl and pumpkins scowl, a witch is near with her scary sneer. May your luck not lack with the screeching bats, 'tis time for Halloween to reappear. Isn't that something? This little pumpkin is raised off of the card. That crow is everything. It's my friend Connie. She is Count Twice, Stitch Once on FlossTube. I will link her below. And please go over and visit with her and tell her I said hi. So thank you, Connie. Thank you so much. Connie and I got to meet, and we went to a thrift store last year about this time. And she and her husband were traveling the country, and I was lucky enough to get to, my husband and I had lunch with she and her husband, and we had a really good time. So she's my sweetheart. Okay, I got in on, I always miss these. This is Dixie Sampler hand-dyed fabrics. What she does is she dyes fabric, and then she puts them on her Facebook group, and then you have to be one of the first ones to snag it. I know some other people do that as well. Her fabrics are always beautiful, and she does such a good job. I have several of them. I was lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time this time, and I grabbed a Sleepy Hollow Cemetery is the color. It's 36 count, and I got a 9 by 13.5 piece, and it is fabulous. Look, it's just a dirty gray, and it's just beautiful. Let's see if you can see a little bit more of the modeling is subtle, and it's got a, you can't really see it, but it's got a purple undertone to it. Let's see. Nope. Anyway, so she has a Facebook group. I will link it below as well, and if you want to go over, and her pictures are much better than this shows up on camera. So if you want to go over and join her Facebook group and watch out for her next sale, highly recommend her fabrics. Highly recommend them. They're wonderful. Fat Quarter Shop sent me some goodies that I want to share with you. So much good stuff. Let me tell you. The first thing that they sent me is a 3-pack magnetic silicone clips for your scissors. It's a scissors ID. There are 3 of them, and it's really cool because you put one around your paper scissors, one around your thread scissors, and one around your fabric scissors. And then you don't have to kill your husband for grabbing your scissors and cutting with it. But this is what they look like. Look at that. Isn't that cool? They're magnetic, and then the little symbol, that's the paper one, is on the side, so you can know at a glance which pair of scissors they are. And you just pop that around the handle. Clever, clever. They also shared with me the new Prim Stitch chart, number 4. This is number 4 of 12. This is Kindness and Generosity by Lori Holt. It's adorable. I love the way they have it finished. Kindness and Generosity. It's number 4 of 12 of the Prim Stitch series. Also featured in Stitch Quarterly first. It's So Emma, Hey Pumpkin. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors in this one. The pumpkin is DMC 3853, but that would be very, very pretty stitched with a pretty variegated orange floss, I think. It gives you a perfect opportunity to use some variegated. And maybe do it vertically, stitch vertically instead of horizontally, so that you get those pretty vertical stripes instead of the horizontal ones. but it's also pretty with the DMC. So pretty. So that's Hey Pumpkin. Also included in the package was the plaid farmhouse designed by Priscilla and Chelsea. This is a quilt pattern. Isn't that pretty? It's also a table runner and a lap quilt pattern in here as well. So that's pretty. Also, Prim and Proper by Lori Holt. This is another quilt pattern. It says, travel back to a gentler era from a time when handwork made a home. Lori Holt of Be In My Bonnet pulls beloved elements from vintage medallion, applique, and cross-stitch to create an exquisite sampler quilt. In addition to the main quilt, this book also includes 3 coordinating runners and 2 pillows. There are the pillows and the runners. Pretty colors. Pretty colors. And quilt block foundation paper. These are 6-inch blocks. And these are shaded. And there's 42 in the package for 1.5-inch strip pre-cuts and scraps. There's 42 sheets for the 6-inch. And here is the 12-inch. This is for 2.5-inch strip pre-cuts and scraps. And it also is shaded. So this is Courthouse Steps. Courthouse Steps quilt block foundation paper. 42 sheets. 12.5-inch unfinished blocks. Makes 12-inch blocks. It's So Emma. So that's really, really awesome. So stay tuned. I will be sharing those things on my channel at some point, so be sure and watch for that. Okay, speaking of sharing, I need to hear from Sharon Graves, who won an extra package of the Color Creations flosses that the Easy Stitch sent me to share. So Sharon Graves, and then also Monica Boudreau, Stacked Pumpkins. I need to hear from you. So if you ladies would email me with your address, I'll be happy to get these to you. If I don't hear from you by my video next time, then I will redraw for these. My husband barreling through the door like a bull in a china shop. He didn't know I was filming. So, okay, let's move on to this week's drawing. And first of all, we have the Flying Frog Stitchery Needle Minder with the 3 skeins of Color Creations floss. And this goes to Donna Coffee. Donna Coffee. We had the Prim Stitch Part 3, Peace and Plenty, with the Prim Star Needle Minder. And this one goes to Brooke Siebert. Brooke Siebert. And the final one was Pumpkins for Sale. This one goes to Gigi Stitches. Gigi Stitches. So, ladies, please email me. My email's below, and send me your address, and I will get these out to you. All right. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about is No New Starts 2021. I know pretty much everyone's already heard of it, but just in case you haven't, there is a Facebook group. There are a couple of admins who are my friends, and they are doing a challenge next year of no new starts. In order to participate, Your current whips that you plan to work on next year need to have at least 200 stitches to be considered a whip. And those you will document in an album in the Facebook group, and those are the whips that you will work on next year. There will be no new starts, and a lot of people like that because it gives you a chance to get your whips caught up and get some whips finished and get them off your plate so that you can have some new starts the following year. So I'm definitely not going to do it because I do intend to start some new things in March for March Madness. So I'm not going to be able to do it, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There is a pot that you contribute to if you want to, and if you stick it out the whole year, they're going to draw for that pot. And then they also have some plans for some prizes and some things to keep you motivated throughout the year. So it sounds like a lot of fun. I may have to just go and see if Lisa will let me in the group just to watch all the fun. But it's if you're looking to whip down and get some finishes next year, then definitely, think about joining that. That's going to be a lot of fun for a lot of people. So not me. I cannot. If I want to start something, I want to start something. But I've got 35 whips or so right now, and I really, honestly, I should do it, but I just want to do March Madness. So, okay. That being said, that will be linked below. I'll link the Facebook group below for the No New Starts 2021. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. My notes ended, but I was going to talk about something. Oh. If you have won one of my giveaways and you haven't received your prize yet, I am pretty sure I'm caught up. Everything is in the mail that was still outstanding. I found a couple charts that were separated from the 2 mail pile that I thought that I had mailed out, but I hadn't. So I think I'm caught up. Hopefully. So those, if you're expecting something, they're on their way. And Market has been postponed. They have moved Market to the last part of May, which is wonderful. That made me extremely happy. So it gives me a couple more months to get myself walking and get some stamina built up. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So already booked for that. Been booked for months, and really happy to join Rochelle at the Cottage Needle again next year for Market. So, and that played really well into my March Madness because I can now have the full month and not have to worry about traveling to Market for 4 or 5 days. So, okay. Well, I think that's everything. Thank you very much for the compliments on my hair. I didn't do anything but cut it. I just cut it myself because it was getting on my nerves. And it's a lot of the gray. It's not showing up gray as much as it was. But, it's a mess. It's a hot mess. But, I just cut it myself, and I layer it, and I like the way it looks. So, I don't think I'm scaring anybody. So, anyway, have a happy and safe Halloween. Whatever you're planning to do this year, do it safely and have fun and treat those kitties. And go vote. Go vote. If you've not already voted, go vote on the 3rd. And, a lot of people died to give you that right. So, if nothing else, honor them by exercising that right. So, go and vote. All right. Well, until I see you again, I'm not sure. Honestly, I've got some things that I'm thinking about and what I want my channel to look like next year. I may make some changes. I'm still really, going over that in my mind. At this point, I've got a lot on my plate right now with everything that I'm doing, so I'm not really sure. If I've got something to show you, I will be here to show you. If I don't have anything after a week, then I'll be back in 2 weeks. So I have to do it that way until I can figure out what I'm doing. So be patient with me and hang in with me. I really appreciate every one of you. And thank you so much for your prayers and your thoughts. I've gotten so many comments and messages, praying for me. My wrist is feeling better. I did rest it. I listened to y'all. Yeah, I listened. I don't listen to my husband. I listen to y'all, right? And after a few days, it did feel better. It's still not 100%, but it's 10 times better than what it was. At least I can move it all, rotate it all the way around. So I do have better range of motion there without so much pain. So it's getting better, and I appreciate your thoughts on that. I do. So until I see you the next time I see you. Have a wonderful Halloween and a wonderful November, and get that holiday planning started. Go over and visit a Tranquil Life if you need some help with that. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.